A mysterious CIA document has surfaced, detailing the existence of 4 basic types of extraterrestrial biological entities that have been confirmed through classified research. This revelation has sparked intense speculation and debate, as the document suggests that these entities have played a significant role in shaping scientific and technological advancements. The extraterrestrial biological entities are categorized in descending order of their influence on human studies, indicating that some species have had a more profound impact than others. The document implies that these entities have been under observation for an extended period, with intelligence agencies closely studying their behavior, capabilities, and potential interactions with humanity. While the specifics regarding their origins and intentions remain undisclosed, the classification system hints at varying degrees of influence, possibly linked to their level of technological advancement or their role in human history. The release of this information has led to discussions about the extent of governmental knowledge concerning extraterrestrial life. If accurate, it challenges long-standing beliefs about human exclusivity in the universe and raises profound questions about the nature of existence. Here is the translated text from the document. There are 4 basic types of EEBs so far confirmed, and they are listed here in descending order of their influence on our studies. Earth-like humanoids. There are several variations more or less like ourselves. The majority of these are old, friendly, and are the bulk of our EEB contacts. Most have a high degree of psychic ability and all use science and engineering of an advanced nature. Small humanoids, or greys. The greys, so called for the hue of skin possessed by most of this type, are a sort of drone. They are not unlike the worker ants or bees. They are a type of genetic clone, incapable of reproduction. With little or no independent will, they are mostly under the psychic control of the Earth-like humanoids who raise them like pets. A detailed explanation of this cultural oddity and its role in the form of space travel these EEBs employ is addressed elsewhere in this briefing. Assuming the greys are under benign control, they are harmless. Non-humanoid EEBs. These are in several classes and come from worlds where dominant morphology took a different evolutionary course. Many of these are dangerous not for organized hostile intentions, but because such creatures do not hold human life as sacred. To them, we are animals, despite our intelligence. A few are friendly because their cultures forbid all acts against living creatures. Thus far, contact has been minimal, with only a handful of unfortunate encounters. Transmorphic entities. Of all the forms of EEB studied so far by Operation Majestic, these are the most difficult to understand or even to give a description of. Essentially, such entities are not beings or creatures. Transmorphic entities exist in some other dimension or plane, which is to say not in our space or time. They do not use devices to travel in space. Only once has a member of a contact team been privileged to be present when introduced by an Earth-like extraterrestrial biological entity to a transmorphic entity. In essence, these entities are composed of pure mind energy. They are not unlike ghostly spirits and seem to be only curious about our universe. They are said by other extraterrestrial biological entities to be capable of taking on any physical form that they channel their energy into as matter. The mysterious CIA document detailing 4 types of extraterrestrial biological entities has garnered significant attention from those who have examined its contents. Numerous individuals who have studied the document assert that it serves as compelling evidence of humanity's understanding of these entities and their advanced technology. Their testimonials suggest that the information presented is not speculative, but rather an indication of the extent to which these beings have been studied and observed. The document implies that the government has long been aware of these entities and has engaged in systematic research regarding their origins, capabilities, and potential implications for human civilization. The consensus among those who have reviewed the document is that it confirms a long-standing familiarity with extraterrestrial life and their technological advancements. For years, reports of unidentified flying objects and strange aerial phenomena have been dismissed or labeled as misinterpretations of natural occurrences. However, this document appears to provide validation that such occurrences are not only real, but have been subject to classified investigations. The fact that these entities have been categorized in descending order of influence suggests a level of organization and understanding that extends beyond mere speculation. This structured classification hints at extensive research and ongoing analysis of these beings, which has been kept hidden from the public eye. For those who explore uncharted territories and delve into theories of hidden knowledge, this document is seen as a revelation. It suggests that authorities have been aware of the existence of unidentified flying vessels for an extended period and have withheld this knowledge from the general public. The secrecy surrounding these discoveries raises important questions about the reasons behind the lack of disclosure. A prevailing belief in modern times is that the era of absolute secrecy surrounding unidentified phenomena has passed. As technology advances and access to information becomes more widespread, the public has grown more skeptical of official narratives that dismiss unexplained sightings. This has led to increasing demands for governmental transparency regarding their knowledge of unidentified objects. People are no longer willing to accept vague statements or outright denials. Instead, they are calling for concrete evidence and official acknowledgement of what has long been suspected: that extraterrestrial entities have not only visited Earth but have been observed and studied in depth. The reluctance of officials to acknowledge awareness of these enigmatic objects is often attributed to concerns about public reaction. Some argue that revealing the existence of advanced extraterrestrial beings could incite fear, disrupt societal order, or challenge deeply ingrained religious and philosophical beliefs. Others believe that governments may be withholding this information to maintain a technological advantage. If these entities have shared or inadvertently revealed elements of their technology, it is plausible that such knowledge would be safeguarded to ensure that no other nation gains an edge in scientific and military advancements. This secrecy, while frustrating for those seeking the truth, may stem from concerns about global security and the potential consequences of widespread disclosure. The release of declassified UFO files has sparked widespread discussion and speculation. Many believe that these disclosures are not random, but are part of a deliberate effort to prepare the public for an eventual revelation about extraterrestrial life. The slow trickle of information, combined with statements from former government officials and military personnel, suggests that there may be a long-term strategy at play. Rather than suddenly announcing the existence of intelligent life beyond Earth, some argue that authorities are gradually exposing the public to the idea to prevent mass panic and ensure a smoother transition into a new understanding of our place in the universe. The idea that governments have been withholding information about UFOs and extraterrestrial encounters for decades is not new. Since the 1940s, reports of unidentified flying objects have surfaced from military pilots, radar operators, and even astronauts. These reports were often dismissed as misidentifications, weather phenomena, or classified military technology. However, as time passed and more credible witnesses came forward, skepticism surrounding official explanations grew. The declassification of numerous government files, particularly from agencies like the CIA, Pentagon, and other intelligence organizations, has only fueled this belief. Many of these documents reveal that government agencies took UFO sightings seriously, even as they publicly downplayed their significance. One of the most compelling reasons people believe these files are being released in preparation for disclosure is the shift in how governments are addressing the phenomenon. In the past, discussions about UFOs were often met with ridicule, and those who reported sightings were frequently dismissed as unreliable. However, in recent years, high-ranking military officials, intelligence officers, and even members of Congress have begun speaking more openly about the subject. The process of preparing the public for a groundbreaking revelation is not without precedent. Governments have historically used controlled releases of information to introduce sensitive topics in a way that mitigates fear and resistance. When groundbreaking discoveries challenge existing worldviews, gradual exposure can help people adjust to new realities. For example, advances in space exploration, such as the discovery of exoplanets within habitable zones, have made the idea of life beyond Earth more scientifically plausible. While once considered fringe or science fiction, discussions of alien life have increasingly entered mainstream academic and governmental discourse. Some believe that the declassification of UFO files is a strategic effort to normalize the subject before making an even more significant revelation. One of the biggest concerns surrounding UFO disclosure is the potential societal impact. If an official announcement confirmed the existence of extraterrestrial intelligence, it could have profound effects on religion, politics, and global stability. The knowledge that we are not alone in the universe might cause existential distress or even fear among some populations. Governments may worry about economic disruptions, shifts in power dynamics, or even challenges to national security. By gradually releasing information and allowing people to adjust to the idea, officials might be attempting to mitigate these risks. The more people become accustomed to discussing UFOs and considering the possibility of extraterrestrial contact, the less likely they are to react with fear when confronted with undeniable evidence. Skeptics argue that the release of these files does not necessarily indicate an impending disclosure. Some believe that governments may have other motives for declassifying UFO-related documents. One theory is that these disclosures serve as distractions from other political or economic issues. By diverting public attention toward UFOs, authorities may be able to shift focus away from more pressing concerns. Others suggest that releasing these files could be a way to encourage further research and innovation in aerospace technology. If the public and private sector become more invested in the study of UAPs, it could lead to breakthroughs in propulsion, energy, and defense technologies. Despite these alternative explanations, those who believe in an upcoming disclosure argue that the volume of declassified files and the credibility of those speaking out are too significant to ignore. In the history of space exploration, few moments capture the imagination and spark as much intrigue as the revelation of unexpected and unexplained phenomena. One such moment occurred when an astronaut shared a mysterious photograph that appeared to show a massive ship inside a crater on the Moon. This photograph, which quickly became the subject of intense speculation and debate, raises profound questions about the nature of our lunar neighbor and the potential for extraterrestrial activity. The photograph in question was taken during one of the numerous missions to the Moon, though the exact mission remains a closely guarded secret, adding to the mystery. The image shows a large, shadowy object nestled within the confines of a lunar crater, its angular lines and distinct features standing in stark contrast to the natural surroundings. The object, which some have described as resembling a spacecraft, appears to be partially buried in lunar dust and debris, suggesting that it has been there for a considerable period. On the other hand, because of the large quantity of images that have been taken from spacecraft, a number of amateur researchers have spent endless hours searching through these photographs in the hope of discovering something peculiar, and these researchers have said that this isn't the first time that strange objects have been found. This image was taken by the Apollo 15 spacecraft, and those who have made measurements have said that the object in question measures over 6 miles long. Other amateur researchers have come forward in recent years and claim to have discovered objects that appear to be similar to those found in old photographs. They assert that this demonstrates that there is more going on than what we are being told about, and in some instances, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration is even editing out these images in the hope that we will not see them. Researchers who are just starting out claim that they do this because they believe that if the bulk of the populace were to learn about these things, they would immediately become extremely anxious. Over the past few years, NASA has come forward to assert that these assertions cannot be substantiated, and that they have never attempted to conceal irregularities in their images through the use of image editing software or airbrushing. According to amateur researchers, if you spend enough time looking for them, you will eventually find them on your own. Despite the fact that scientists have stated that it is their responsibility to unearth discoveries of this nature and to assist in advancing our knowledge, they have never discovered anything that is of interest or that cannot be explained in all of the years that they have spent performing their research. There are also substantial implications for future space exploration and the quest for life beyond Earth that are associated with the potential of an extraterrestrial presence on the Moon. If this were to occur, it would cause a re-evaluation of the current goals and tactics for lunar exploration, which may potentially lead to increased attempts to investigate and map the surface of the Moon by providing more specific information. Furthermore, it would stimulate interest in conducting similar research on other celestial planets, such as Mars and the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, for the purpose of discovering evidence of extraterrestrial activity that may have occurred in the past or may be occurring at the present time. Even while the snapshot has caused a lot of excitement and speculation, there are still a lot of questions that have not been answered. The precise nature of the object that was found in the crater, as well as its origin, continue to be shrouded in mystery, and there is no conclusive evidence to either confirm or disprove the numerous ideas. Further suspicion and conspiracy theories have been fostered by the fact that the mission and the identity of the astronaut have been kept secret. Some people have suggested that the photograph is a part of a broader cover-up of extraterrestrial activity. As of right now, the strange photograph that was provided by an astronaut and showed a massive ship inside of a crater on the moon has captivated the imagination and caused significant debate. However, proponents of the alien theory point to the object's distinct features and symmetrical shape as proof of an artificial origin. Skeptics believe that the image is just our eyes playing tricks on us, while proponents of the hypothesis point to the object's symmetrical shape. This snapshot raises significant issues regarding the potential for extraterrestrial activity on the moon, as well as the future of space exploration. These questions are raised regardless of the true nature of the item described in the photograph. The mysteries of the lunar surface serve as a reminder that we are still at the beginning of our journey to understand the universe and our place within it. This is something that we are reminded of as we continue to explore the infinite universe. Mysterious object seen during NASA's 1960 Mercury mission. In the early 1960s, the dawn of the space age heralded unprecedented advancements in human exploration beyond our planet. As the United States and the Soviet Union vied for dominance in space, NASA's Mercury missions became the first American forays into this new frontier. Among these groundbreaking missions, the 1960 Mercury mission stood out not just for its technical achievements, but also for the extraordinary and controversial reports of unidentified flying objects seen during the mission. These sightings have fueled decades of speculation, debate, and fascination, suggesting that humanity may not be alone in the cosmos. An image from NASA's Mercury mission, dating back over 60 years, has reignited speculation about UFO sightings and suspicions of extraterrestrial planes. An amateur researcher alleges to have discovered something peculiar in the picture, which was published on NASA's official website. The photographs were captured by the unmanned NASA spacecraft during the Project Mercury mission, which began in 1958 and concluded in 1963. According to the person who discovered the image, the unidentified object in the background is purportedly an extraterrestrial spacecraft that was hovering in orbit to observe the Mercury capsule. The researcher, who claimed to have dedicated much time examining NASA albums, announced the discovery of a disk in certain photographs from the Mercury mission. Initial reports of anomalous sightings were relayed by terrestrial radar operators who saw unidentified objects exhibiting extraordinary velocities in close proximity to the flight path of the Mercury spacecraft. These objects had flying patterns and velocities that were beyond the capability of any known aircraft created by humans at that time. Following the initial excitement and bewilderment, these radar blips were promptly confirmed by visual sightings from both mission control officers and astronomers who had been monitoring the spacecraft's trajectory. Inside the spaceship, the telemetry data captured a sequence of abnormal signals. External monitoring instruments detected inexplicable variations in radiation levels and electromagnetic interference. In addition, the cameras on board recorded brief photos of unidentifiable objects, distinguished by their unique forms and swift motions. Despite their hazy and blurred quality, these photographs depicted unidentified saucer-like structures and cylindrical forms that did not correspond to any recognized space junk or man-made satellites. A particularly convincing piece of evidence was obtained during the post-mission debriefing of the mission's controllers and scientists. Multiple essential individuals witnessed luminous objects that seemed to follow closely behind the Mercury spacecraft during its mission. The objects, characterized by their emission of a pulsating light, appeared to navigate with discernment and intention, consistently maintaining a fixed distance from the capsule. The observations were sufficiently clear and reliable to justify an internal examination conducted by NASA. NASA's official explanation at the time indicated that the sightings were probably attributable to optical illusions, reflections, or space debris. Nevertheless, this explanation failed to alleviate the increasing conjecture and fascination around the tragedy. Doubters contended that the abundance and uniformity of the observations, along with the supporting radar and telemetry information, indicated something much more remarkable than mere misidentifications. The object outside the International Space Station. Back in 2017, a huge object was caught outside of the International Space Station. This extraordinary incident, witnessed by thousands of people around the world via the space station's live stream, offers a compelling case for the existence of extraterrestrial technology. On a seemingly ordinary day, as the space station orbited Earth, the station's live feed, which regularly broadcasts stunning views of our planet, unexpectedly captured something unprecedented. Viewers noticed a colossal, disc-shaped object hovering near the space station. Unlike the usual space debris or meteors that occasionally appear, this object was distinct, with a structured and symmetrical form, suggesting an artificial origin. The sighting lasted for several minutes before the object slowly moved out of the camera's field of view, disappearing into the vastness of space. The immediate reaction from the global audience was a mixture of awe, excitement, and skepticism. Social media platforms buzzed with discussions as amateur astronomers and UFO enthusiasts meticulously analyzed the footage. Many pointed out the object's size, estimated to be several hundred meters in diameter, and its smooth metallic surface, which reflected the sunlight in a way that natural celestial bodies do not. The sheer scale and appearance of the object led many to conclude that it was not a piece of human-made space junk, but something far more extraordinary. While some attempted to provide conventional explanations, such as an unusual reflection of light or a misidentified satellite, these theories fell short of addressing the object's distinct characteristics. The structured symmetry and deliberate movement of the UFO suggested an advanced level of engineering far beyond current human capabilities. Moreover, the context of the sighting added to its credibility. The International Space Station is equipped with some of the most advanced surveillance and observational technology available, designed to capture high-resolution images and videos of space. The live feed is monitored by a team of experts who are trained to recognize and identify various objects and phenomena in space. The fact that this object appeared so clearly and was captured in such detail by the space station cameras indicates that it was not a simple optical illusion or camera malfunction. This sighting also brings to mind the numerous historical accounts of UFOs reported by astronauts and cosmonauts. From the early days of space exploration, there have been numerous reports of strange objects observed during missions. For example, NASA astronauts such as Gordon Cooper and Edgar Mitchell have publicly spoken about their experiences with UFOs, lending further credibility to the possibility of extraterrestrial encounters. The recent sighting can be seen as part of this continuum of unexplained phenomena in space. The implications of this sighting are profound and far-reaching. If the object captured by the space station's live camera is indeed an extraterrestrial spacecraft, it would suggest that advanced civilizations exist beyond Earth and possess the technology to traverse the vast distances of space. This realization would fundamentally alter our understanding of the universe and our place within it. It would prompt a re-evaluation of our scientific theories and technological aspirations as we strive to comprehend and possibly replicate such advanced engineering. Furthermore, the sighting raises important questions about the intentions and motivations of these potential extraterrestrial visitors. Are they merely observing us, or do they have a more active interest in humanity and our development? The presence of such a large and advanced spacecraft near the space stations suggests a level of curiosity and perhaps even concern for our activities in space. It underscores the need for greater transparency and cooperation among global space agencies in sharing information and resources to understand these phenomena. In response to the sighting, there have been calls for a thorough investigation by an international coalition of space agencies, scientists, and researchers. This collaborative approach would help ensure that the analysis is comprehensive and unbiased, leveraging the expertise and technology of multiple countries to uncover the truth behind the sighting. Additionally, it would foster a spirit of global unity and shared purpose in addressing one of the most significant questions of our time. Are we alone in the universe? The mysterious UFO searchlight encounter. The recurring observations of a circular disc-shaped entity in the vicinity of Norwood, situated near Cincinnati in Ohio, have often been overshadowed by more popularized incidents of that period. Nonetheless, this particular occurrence stands out as notably captivating among the less remembered instances. The mysterious presence of the circular object has perplexed locals and experts alike, hinting at a deeper mystery that has puzzled investigators for years. This peculiar entity was observed multiple times over an extended period spanning several months. Moreover, these sightings frequently triggered a surge of incoming calls to the editorial departments of renowned newspapers like the Cincinnati Post and the Cincinnati Enquirer, with eager and anxious locals reaching out to report their encounters.